Hello, everybody. I'm here to talk about football. I'm here. It's Monday. I'm on break. It's some at work. So my last week picks / Cardinals preview video got put up late. Obviously late. My bad. My apologies. Busy. Things happen. I recorded it on Friday, and then it just didn't get put up. It was a busy weekend. So, I'm going to try to avoid that this week. I'm not 100% sure how it's all going to work this week either, so I won't be recording here Friday, obviously, because it's Christmas. So, I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to record today. I'm going to record a review for today. That's what I'm going to do. We'll see what happens as we move along. So, let's think where to start with this game. Actually, you know what? We'll start in the beginning. The first quarter was brutal. The offense looked out of sorts for a while. There was the punt block. There was the safety. The first quarter was just bad. Now, then it turned on, and the game got pretty exciting. The offense, I thought, I think yesterday was the best that Philly's offense has looked all season. So this can lead into the Hurts-Wentz discussion. Why? Why did the offense look so good? Because yesterday, I feel like the play calling wasn't necessarily great. I mean, there were one or two times where I was scratching my head, and so the one thing I will say on the play calling front, and I know I've said this probably about 100 million times, I'm good with running a screen game. I really am. If it works, if it's working, you hit a running back, and like 1 yard beyond the line of scrimmage, you hit him, you got some blocking set up, all right, fine. But the tight end and wide receiver screens, where the quarterback takes the ball and is throwing it horizontally to a receiver or a tight end that's 2 or 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, I don't ever want to see that play call ever again. Like, ever. Because it works pretty much never. It almost always ends up with at least a couple yard loss on the play, at best. At worst, it ends up in an overthrown ball, or a drop, or a bobble, and a fumble that gets oftentimes picked up by a corner or a linebacker and taken back for 6. I really hate seeing my team running that play. I'll be sitting around watching, pick a team, the Jets. I'll be watching a Jets game, and I'll see them run that play. And it bothers me. And they're not even in my conference. What do I give a shit? Oh, God, every time I see that play, it hurts. It'll work really well, like 3 times a season across the entire NFL. Like, I don't understand why teams continue to run it so many times. And I suppose it's one thing if you have a receiver who's super quick, Deshaun Jackson, a Tyreek Hill, I guess I get it. if you can get the blocking set up correctly and you've got a super speedy receiver, even then, I'm still not sure I like it. But when you're throwing it to Dallas Goedert, love Dallas Goedert. But why? Why? If you're going to do that, just run the ball. I mean, honestly. On the topic of the run game was pretty... I thought it was all right yesterday. There was nothing special, nothing huge, but it wasn't terrible. Doug ran the ball a decent bit in the first half. I feel like he didn't run it very much in the first half, but like the first quarter, Sanders was definitely getting some carries. Hurts looked really good for the most part. He did have that one fumble that went out of bounds. He took the safety. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He didn't take the safety. It was an intentional grounding penalty that resulted in a safety anyway. And he took 2 really, really big sacks on that ending drive where we were trying to go down and tie the game. I think those 2 sacks, it was like 2nd and goal at like the 19 or something ridiculous like that after those 2 sacks, or 3rd and goal, I'm sorry. And he had 1 or 2 other sacks during the game that there was one where I remember looking at it and thinking, well, that's just good defensive play. Our offensive line's banged up, whatever. But there was one where he kind of stepped up, was looking around, holding on to the ball, took a sack. And I remember thinking, because I think I tweeted about it, I was like, that was a Carson Wentz sack. That was the kind of sack that everybody was screaming about Wentz taking. Outside of those few mistakes, I mean, Hurts looked good, obviously. He's running the ball effectively when he did it. He was throwing the ball pretty damn well. The sacks, the fumble out of bounds, the intentional grounding in the end zone. He's a rookie quarterback, and those are the plays I expect a rookie quarterback. Those are the kind of mistakes that you expect from a rookie quarterback, right? It just happens. It's how it works. With that being said, here's my thoughts. Every single one of these game review videos just turns into a quarterback video. But that's kind of the big thing right now, because Hurts, again, played well outside of some what I would consider just rookie mistakes. Those will get better. So, here's where I'm at quarterback-wise. I still personally think Carson Wentz is a more talented quarterback than Jalen Hurts. It's just me. I'm not convinced that opinion. That opinion certainly isn't going to change after Wentz having a down year. I've seen what he can do. We all know what he can do. He's 3 years removed from what would have been an MVP season. And last year, he took this same dog shit Eagles squad to the playoffs. Put the team on his back and took them to the playoffs. I know what he can do. Now, Hurts has been good. Hurts has been very good. But I'm certainly not ready to say that Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Carson Wentz. I'm nowhere near that yet. I need to see a hell of a lot more out of Hurts. And what I really need to see, and able to pass that judgment, is I need to see Wentz for at least another full year suck. Because I'm not convinced. I'm just not convinced this isn't, a blip on the radar. That being said, Hurts is playing well. The team looks like they are playing better for him. Hurts is I think is masking some of the issues with the team, with the line, and with Doug's play calling. By all accounts, he seems to be impressive in his charisma, in his leadership skills, in his confidence at the line. So it sounds like he's got a lot of the intangibles that you look for in a quarterback. His teammates seem to like him a lot. Apparently Greg Ward really likes him. Sanders was very outspoken about how well Hurts had played. Tying all of that together, I don't know what you do with Carson Wentz or with Jalen Hurts. You could apply the same questions to both scenarios. So here's the scenario. The end of the season comes along. There's 2 games left. Peterson already said that Hurts is going to play next week against Dallas. And let's just say that he plays in week 17 against Washington. Let's say he plays well both games. Okay. So now you're at the end of the season and you've got Jalen Hurts, who's off his rookie season, cheap rookie deal, and he's played well. And his teammates like him. And a lot of his teammates think he should start. At least as of right now. And then you have Carson Wentz, who you gave $100 million+ contract. Has shown you in the past that he can play at a top 5 quarterback ability. Coming off of a rough year. Threw lots of picks, got hit a lot, got sacked a lot. Had some fumbles, but Hurts has kind of a fumbling problem, at least thus far, as well. Seems to be an Eagles quarterback thing. What do you do? So there's your scenario. There's your 2 quarterbacks. There's what you're dealing with. Now, if you decide you want to keep Hurts, roll with Wentz. Keep Hurts and not... You want to move forward into next season with Jalen Hurts as your starter. What do you do with Wentz? He doesn't want to be a backup, which I cannot believe there are actually people in this world that were surprised by this news. Okay, the second overall pick on a $100+ million contract, who is 3 years removed from an MVP season and 1 year removed from putting a team on his back and leading him to the playoffs, that really didn't have the talent to deserve to be in that spot. That man doesn't want to be a backup quarterback. Wow. In other news, the sky is blue. Like, the fact that people were actually surprised by this actually makes me a little disappointed. So, he's not going to want to sit on the bench. Okay? You can't outright cut him. I mean, I guess you could, but then you're taking like a $20+ million cap hit next season. The Eagles, the organization's not going to want to do that. His contract's still going. He's not a free agent. Nobody else can sign him unless you get rid of him. Cutting him is not really an option, so you're going to have to trade him. You're going to have to try and trade him. As we established in a video a couple weeks ago, there just aren't that many quarterback-hungry teams. The Jets and the Jags are probably going draft. I don't see Brady retiring, and I'm not sure I see him leaving the Bucs either. I think he'll want round 2. So I think he'll be back, so the Bucs are out. You've got the Colts. Not sure about Rivers. Not sure if he's playing another season. I'm hearing rumors that Breeze is retiring, but between Winston and Hill, I don't think they'll be looking for a new quarterback. Colts, I keep hearing people talking about the 49ers. But I'm not so sure that they're done with Jimmy G yet. I keep hearing talk about the Broncos, but I'm not so sure that they're done with Drew Lock yet. If either of those two teams thought they could get Wentz cheap, maybe they would jump that, but I don't think they're willing to give up big hauls for a quarterback yet. The Colts, I'm thinking New England. I'm thinking they might be done with Cam, because Cam looks like he's done. There was another team somewhere that was in my mind, was in the mix, but you get what I'm saying. There's not a whole, and I say that whatever team you trade him to has to be willing to take on his contract as well. I don't know what the cap situation like for either of those couple teams are. The Colts would be the one to make the most logical sense. Reunite him with Frank Reich. The Colts are a talented, well-rounded football team. It makes sense from a Carson Wentz and the Colts perspective. It makes sense if the trade works. Who's to say the trade works? Now, if you keep Carson Wentz, want to move forward next year with him as your starter, what do you do with Jalen Hurts? If he continues to play well, I cannot imagine him wanting to sit on the bench and be a backup. He's cheap. You don't have to pay much for him, but he's not going to want to sit on the bench. And I don't think a lot of his teammates are going to want him to sit on the bench either. So I'm worried we're going to bump into another one of those scenarios with Wentz and Foles where some people on the team aren't a fan of Wentz. They don't want him to start. They want the other guy to start. And, the last thing, looking at the time, the last thing this team I think really needs is probably locker room drama. So if Hurts keeps playing well, finishes out the season, let's say we win both of those games, then what do you do? Then how do you... I know how I would justify keeping Carson Wentz personally, but how do you justify it to the teammates who want to roll forward with Hurts? I don't know. I am not... I'm not envious of the people, the front office people in Philly who have to make that decision going into next year. But at the same time, I don't really care because the front office staff put themselves in this situation when they drafted Jalen Hurts. They made this mess for themselves. So, you know what? They get what they deserve, I suppose. Just doesn't help that the fan base is ripping each other to shreds over this. I just wish they hadn't drafted Jalen Hurts. I'm getting a phone call and I don't care about it. This is still recording, right? I'm hoping it's still recording. It said recording will be stopped if I answer the phone, but I'm not answering it. So numbers are ticking. Yep, alright, we're good. So I don't know. That's where I'm at with the quarterback situation. The other thing I worry about with Jalen Hurts, one of the same things I said about Lamar Jackson. Hurts is in 2 games. How long does it take before opposing teams, opposing defensive coordinators have some time? Now there's some film out there on Jalen Hurts. How long does it take before teams start to figure out maybe what his weaknesses are, how to properly defend against him? How long does it take until defensive schemes start to come out against Jalen Hurts? Excuse me. And how effective will he continue to be once teams know how to scheme for a Jalen Hurts-led Eagles offense? It's the same situation I think Kyler Murray's bumped into a couple times this year. He's just... happen to run into teams that scheme against that offense really well. And Cliff Kingsbury has been kind of a moron. Although, the decision yesterday to go for that fake punt, genius. Not only did it work, but the play call I think was good. It was a good time to run that play. It was a fun game yesterday. I enjoyed watching it. Hurts looked, for the most part, he looked very good. Could have not taken those sacks there at the very end of the game, but again, it's a mistake I expect rookie quarterbacks to make. You know, I can't be too mad at him because he is still a rookie. Jeffrey showed up to play. Must be nice. I wanted him to play anyway. I mean, I was not quite as enamored with Travis Fulgham, I think, as the rest of the fan base was. Don't get me wrong. He was playing. He was making catches. I was loving it. But when Jeffrey came back healthy, I was always in favor of putting in Jeffrey, letting him see time, giving him snaps, giving him targets, and seeing if he could do kind of what he did yesterday. Now, there's the idea that when Wentz is on the field, Jeffrey doesn't play for Wentz. And if that's the case, then I don't want a person like that on my football team, no matter who my quarterback is. If there's two quarterbacks on my team, and I know for a fact that if one quarterback sits and the other one goes in, one of my teammates won't play for that other guy, you're gone. Man, because that's not how that works. That's not how team sports work. So if you want to put your head against the wall and act like that, I don't want that kind of personality on my team, no matter who my quarterback is. One thing I will say, and I noticed it as soon as the game was over, who was the first person to run over to Jalen Hurts after the game and congratulate him? It's Carson Wentz. I'm sick and tired of this narrative that Carson Wentz isn't a team player. He's a problem in the locker room. He only cares about himself. I'm tired of that narrative. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of hearing it from Philly sports media. I'm especially tired of hearing it from people on Twitter. I'm just, when he's proven repeatedly that he is not that kind of person. I'm tired of the narrative. I'm trying to think if there's anything else crazy important that happened this week, and the Jets won a game. Congratulations, Jets. You're not going to go 0-16, and you probably just lost your chance at Trevor Lawrence. Now he's probably going to wind up in Jacksonville. That'll be interesting, I'll tell you what. That'll be interesting. I think it's funny. The Rams want to be considered Super Bowl contenders, or at least playoff contenders. And they lost to the goddamn Jets. That is adorable to me. I was right about the Washington game, by the way. It's just one of those Seattle games, man, where it's low scoring, all defense. It just happens sometimes, man. It's weird. Seattle's weird. But hey, Seattle's back on top of the division. Cleveland won last night, so the Cleveland Browns have a 10-win season. Season's not even over yet. Oh my goodness gracious. I'll tell you what, the one thing I will say about the Giants, man, that defensive line, whoo, baby. That Dexter Lawrence kid, he is something special. And Blake Martinez, man, that guy's that guy's an animal. Loved him when he was in Green Bay. Hated seeing him go to a division rival. Because, goddamn, I would kill for a linebacker like Blake Martinez on our team. Oh, my goodness gracious. He is so good. I think I'm going to leave it there. I don't have a whole lot else to say about the week. I haven't seen highlights yet. Hey, man, Jalen Hurts next week. We'll see how he does. We'll see how he closes out the season. I just wonder how long before tape comes out and people are able to scheme for him a little more effectively. I don't know how he'll handle that. But I'm not sure. I'm just not sure I'm willing to give up our franchise quarterback in Carson Wentz because our rookie quarterback played well for 4 games. I'm not sure I'm ready to take that chance yet. But hey, decision's not up to me. Decision's not up to any of you guys. So I suppose we'll just have to sit back in the passenger seat and see what happens. With all that being said, I'm going to get out of here, get back to work here in a minute, and I will see you guys sometime this week. I'll try and get a picks video out. Bye-bye.